go ahead and get started, Coach. If you want to make things real quick, and we'll open up questions.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Are we all in the frame?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it was nice to get that win. I think that we all within the program, the team felt the sense of urgency that we really needed this win. We go on the road and there's nothing better than to have that little bit of momentum and that confidence going on the road. But there was a big fear, I think, for me and our coaching staff, like, can we play through the excitement of that win and then kind of like that little let up that you have after a big win, the celebration we had, how exciting it was after, the Notre Dame game, and to get up, right there from a Thursday to a Sunday, it is indicative of a really good team. Good teams can do that. And I'm just really proud of this team for getting up for this game, sticking to the game plan. And on top of that, just playing with so much poise and I thought a lot of good patience against their pressure. So very proud of these two next to me. Really thought Marnell Gerard did a great job handling the pressure. She really only had one turnover because the offensive foul was her second turnover. And that's playing 37 minutes of pressure defense and handling it and being the point guard. And again, I'm excited to get on the road with these guys and see what we can do in our next game now.
Andy, you can go.
Okay. I had a question about the fourth quarter. It seemed like a pivotal juncture there where you had the challenge. They initially called the foul on Cam. And then there was a long time in between play resuming again. And then you guys kind of pulled away after that. Can you just walk me through what happened?
That was pretty neat for me as a coach, because there's not much we get to do as coaches. And now we're allowed to challenge. There's two calls in women's basketball we can actually challenge. And one of them is the RA, like the restricted area. If you feel like the person that took the charge was in the RA, you can ask for them to review that at any point in the game. It's like that secondary defender in the RA. And then the other play that you're allowed to have reviewed is if a foul occurred, but a basket was scored before the foul, that you asked for the basket to be counted. It just so happened we had both things happen in one play. And so the referees were very adamant with me with that. If I challenged both of those calls, that would be 2 timeouts I could lose. And I was positive on the shot. And my staff convinced me, Coach AJ convinced me that she was definitely in the restricted area on the charge. So I just challenged them both and took my chances on possibly losing 2 timeouts or possibly having a 5-point swing. And both of them went our way. So we were pretty fired up. And I think that was a nice little turning point for us to get a little bit of momentum in a much needed time.
Rob, you can go ahead.
Thanks. So you guys have had a great month of January, right? You strung together a bunch of good wins. But what's your mindset like now, coming off the success and heading into the real meat of the schedule?
Is that for me, that question?
All you, but
can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you guys have had a great month of January. Obviously, you've had a lot of success. But what's your mindset right now with like coming off this success and going forward, heading into the tougher part of the schedule?
Ladies, I'll let you take that one.
You got it. You got it.
No.
Okay. I think now is a really important time because we have a lot of games, and so you don't want any games like today to slip. And I think we've done a really great job at learning from our past losses and growing every game. And so we've been able to get big wins like Notre Dame, like today, and like other ones like Syracuse and Clemson. And so I think as the season progresses, it's definitely nice and a big confidence booster to have those wins underneath your belt. But now we just have to keep capitalizing on things that we've been working on. Like today we had 16 turnovers, and to some that's still a lot of turnovers, but for us, that's been something that we've been trying to cut down on all year. And so to have a win, especially against a team that was pressuring us really hard, to know that we can limit our turnovers is going to be really important in a game like Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I think we just need to keep building momentum and just kind of prepares us for the next game. Coming off a win, you're just like ready to get the next one. And so I think that's always good for us.
Taylor, I think that was your third career three-pointer. How did that feel? How did that one go down? And I mean, everything was falling for you today, but that one especially. How did that feel?
That felt pretty great. I think every time I score three, I say every time, like it happens often, but like the few times that it has happened, like maybe I think like the world revolves around me in that moment, but I swear I feel like the whole world, like all my teammates just like, T-Soul is that girl. Like she just hit the greatest shot. And to me, I'm like, that great moment. Like I don't shoot too many, I don't take too many, but for that one to go in, felt good. And it was necessary. And it definitely, any three is a momentum swing, like play for us. And I think for a player like me to hit a three definitely brings some type of energy.
And she can make those shots. She just doesn't necessarily need to shoot that shot when she can kind of get people on the inside and play to really what her bread and butter is. But she hits shots like that in practice. So it's not shocking, but yeah, I think that 5-10 seconds, the world does revolve around Taylor Soule on this 3-point makes.
I gotta ask about a play under the basket. There was that one in the first quarter where you dove out of bounds, I think it was, and passed it back to slap past it back to Maria. I gotta ask how that developed, because that didn't seem like there was any planning whatsoever on that play.
Wait, no, Dan, I'll just say it's exactly the way I drew it up.
Okay.
That's exactly what I wanted. We knew they were gonna be hard and heavy in the paint on me, so I just in the back of my head. No, well, I credit Marnell honestly, because I think like we've been with each other since freshman year, and I'm always one to like be leaking out and running the floor really hard, and so I credit her just for seeing that in the first place. And I'll be honest, I just whipped that ball, and Riri's been working really hard, and so she sprinted the floor too, and by the grace of the basketball gods, she caught it, and we got a nice little two.
I did have kind of one follow-up in there too, which was I feel like Miami's always one of those teams that brings size. They always have a really good center, I know, over the last at least 3-4 years. So when you have plays like that, or you have plays in general, and you have a player like Marnell who can see the floor and you can run out and try to negate some of that size, especially for the two of you who are both in the front court. What's kind of that like playing a team that's so unique like that brings so much size to the table?
I think it's just important for us just to recognize whether a big five like might have slower feet, or just anything like that for us to kind of capitalize on. We only had 2 points in transition, and I'm assuming it was that one time I threw it to Riri. So we didn't do as great of a job for that today, but I think just in general, it's really important to recognize that, and we are in great shape and we are really fast, and so to do that more often is going to be important down the stretch.
And we also put them in like a lot of ball screen action, and so when they flat hedge, it was easy. It was not easy. It was good.
Nice.
But
made it look easy.
We made it look easy.
And credit to Miami, I think, especially in that second quarter, you saw that was one of the big things why they pressure and why they do those things, is to maybe slow our momentum and our ability to get, even after makes or rebounds, to push up the floor. They negated a lot of that just by putting it on some great heat on us. And I thought definitely toward the end of the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, we kind of put in our minds like, hey, let's stop slowing down and kind of letting us play their pace, or what they're wanting us, what they were dictating to us. Let's kind of take back control and keep pushing. Now, it didn't translate necessarily into more fast break opportunities, but I think it picked up the momentum of our offense.
And specifically about the ball screens, because I know some of those too, Coach, for you, and more specifically with Ally too, because of her fundamentals and the way that she plays the game too. When you have someone like her, who can go into the toolbox and come up with a whole bunch of options, how unique is that? When you're playing a team and you're trying to come off ball screens or move down low, move into the post, to have someone like her there.
I think I yell at her every game, set an on ball screen, because, and that's just a habit that once she realizes how versatile that is, because, one thing that's pretty special about her and T, so both of these players can set on ball screens, and both of them can use on ball screens. And when you have that kind of versatility in a ball screen type of offense, they're players that are really fun, and they can create opportunities for everybody out there, including themselves. So as we continue, and I think, again, leading into February here, or the end of this month and into February, I think us starting to really have that chemistry on the court, this is when it's supposed to happen. And, T-Soul said, I think we're in pretty good shape. So us being able just to collectively come together, this is the time of year that we've worked all summer and all preseason and all early non-conference. And this is the time of year we work for. And this is where we want to be our best, in these next month and a half. So that's what we're working toward. And I think the light bulbs are really clicking everywhere.
Just
Oh,
out
yeah.
of curiosity, is it to Georgia Tech and then home and then to Notre Dame, or do you do the whole, or you just go straight from Atlanta up to South Bend? Or is
I
that
think we
not
come
for
back.
any, is that for Mike?
No, my question.
Where's Mike? I think we come back. Yeah, we come back.
Okay. That was just curiosity. Sorry, Andy.
All good, Dan. Allie, I had a question about where you are at with your development. I know you had a bit of last season. Now you have this year. Do you feel like it's clicking for you right now? Obviously, a bit of a breakout game for you today. But where do you feel like you are development-wise?
Yeah, lately it's just been like my teammates believe in me, my coaches believe in me, and I just had to get myself to like believe in myself. And I think today, like I started to get that back, and I think, yeah, we're heading in the right direction.
So, Coach, I know you talked about this a little bit after the game, but the crowd was awesome. How were you guys able to feed off their energy?
You said it. We do feed off their energy. I think that as we continue to build a great program here and the people in the area continue to believe and show up and come out, I think I know that crowd today, and even in Notre Dame, I know that crowd. When they're in the building, when they're in Conti, I think they really feel that they are truly like the sixth man in the stands, and the way they get into it and the way they help us keep the momentum on our side. And when things aren't going that well for us, they give us that extra push. So to have that finally at Boston College, and I think that that's something that, when you win, people will come out and support you, right? And I just think that's something that I hope we can build on. And we had a great year a couple years ago, but then COVID hit, and I think people get a little nervous. Even right now, it's still a little nerve-wracking for certain people to come out. But as all of that lifts and things are getting better for the world when it comes to COVID, I just see this place. I see that lower bowl. We all envision these guys. We envision that to be filled, and just having this unbelievable basketball atmosphere in Conti. And it starts games like this and having a great. And today was our National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. So we had so many awesome teams and young fans out supporting these guys. And I actually had a little girl come up to me after the game. I'd say she was maybe 8. She said, Coach Mac. And I came down to her and she said, I'm going to be your future point guard. It was the cutest thing ever. And, so I think like having stuff like that and having just these awesome role models and these women that I get to coach and letting them show who they are on the court and how aggressive and intense they can play, but then how wonderful and loving and caring they are off the court. That's the kind of role models every little girl should get to have. And they're great. They do a great job of it.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to ask about that too, and for Taylor and Allie, the having a day to where you get to honor, your journeys and all the accomplishments too of the program, and the little girls having their the future Eagle, apparently future point guards for the program. What does it mean for you just to have that day and be able to play on a game like this and have that atmosphere for you as well?
I think it's just a great feeling to know that so many people look up to you, whether it's like girls that are 8 years old, like in high school, like even just like workers walking around, like you mean something to like not just the BC community, but the community outside of here that supports us. And so to be able to just say like a small thing to a like 10-year-old girl that resonates with her forever, or just take like a little picture, it really means a lot to them. But I think it also means a lot to us. It just makes everybody feel special.
Yeah, I agree with what she said. Just like, just making like an impact on their day, or like just giving them a smile, and it just brings us happy too. And so I think that's cool.